So maybe you're wondering, I have a 310. I don't have an OMAS. The nice man just said, I don't have an OMAS. That is true. On a 310, a 110, or a 330, they do not sell with the OMAS. The OMAS is an option that is strictly for the 360 or the 370. Now, for the 310, the 110, and the 330, for almost everything you're likely to print, the step alignment is going to be very accurate. There's a couple things when you're running very fast. So if you're running in some fast print modes like 4-pass or 6-pass, it is possible that you may need to do an advanced step calibration manually. The advanced step calibration can also be helpful if you're doing panel jobs or you're putting it on a take-up reel, something where you have a longer run and or you're running faster and you want to make sure that that step alignment is very precise. In those cases, there's a very simple chart, and I'll show you where to look for it, and then we'll print the chart out and I'll show you what the chart means and how to read it. Once you've read the chart, you enter that information back into the actual media settings, and then it retains those settings when you bring that media up in the future. It's a fairly simple procedure. We encourage you to do it. It certainly does not hurt. For most printing, it probably won't be necessary. I run a 310 and a 330 every day, and I rarely ever print that chart. But if I am going to do a longer tile job, or I'm going to do something where length really matters, or I'm running faster, I do print the chart and then I enter in that data back into the printer itself. It's a very easy process to do. One other thing to note. You've heard about double-sided printing. Well, double-sided printing is really ideally for a 360 or the 370. The OMAS automates the workflow and makes the job very easy. You can do double-sided printing on a 310 or a 330 or even a 110, but what you have to keep in mind is that with no OMAS, you're going to have to manually register the second side yourself. Now, I have people that do it. It's a little tricky, but it requires just a bit of cleverness to identify exactly where the printer starts printing. And if you can figure that out and add a little bleed to the image, you would be able to do double-sided printing with a 110, a 310, or a 330, but it wouldn't use the OMAS to automate the workflow. If you were going to do a lot of double-sided printing, the 360 or the 370 really is the ideal printer for that application, but it can be done on the other printers. It's just not going to have an automated process. So let me show you how to do it, and then we'll go over and show you what the chart looks like and how to read it. Now, if you have a 310 or a 330 or a 110 and you do not have the OMAS, but you do want to do the advanced calibration chart, and I do recommend that, this is where you do it. These are the steps, so let me walk you through them. It's real easy, and then we'll print the chart and I'll show you what the chart means. So to print the calibration chart, you go to Settings, Image Quality Maintenance, and then from there you're going to go down here to Substrate Advanced Calibration. And then you will have a print adjustment plot. You will not have the OMAS calibration. This is a 360 interface. And you do the print adjustment plot, and the print adjustment plot will print the chart that allows you to evaluate whether you have to add or subtract based on the step alignment. Now this screen is for a 360, but the 330 screen and the 310, the 110 are in the same names, just in a slightly smaller version. So print the adjustment and then we will show you what it looks like. So this is the actual chart that you print. Now you can print this also with the OMAS printers as well, but ideally it's for the 310, the 330, and the 110. What you're looking for is you have dark lines on both sides, and then as you kind of squint your eyes, you're looking for the lightest line, the lightest vertical line. In this case, in my personal opinion, I think it's -2. So choosing -2 would mean that is the most accurate step alignment for this media. You either go into the Advanced tab on the printer menu for the actual build of the media preset, or you can enter it into the RIP. Both have locations where you can enter this adjustment and then make -2 the default number. If you choose to, especially if you're using a take-up roll, you might want to run this again, and you'll find that instead of -2, for example, it might be -4, or even -6. Printing with and without the take-up roll can have slightly different step alignments because keep in mind the take-up roll does add a little bit of tension and it's helpful to compensate for that.